yet again, it's me featuring a snowstorm. This was something that I went through, and I had a different options than you. I was buying a brand new car, and the 2017 was coming out when I was buying a brand new car. Now you guys are basically watching this going, should I buy new or should I buy used? And that's a whole different ballgame. That comes up to what do you want? Do you want to buy a new car or do you want to buy a used car? But when it comes to actually just looking at these cars side by side and me telling you why I bought the 2016, I hope I can help out at least a few people. This may not be the most popular topic or the most watched video, but it's something that I went through when I bought this car, and I figure there's someone else out there that's going through the same thing. Now, I actually did wait. I was in the market for a new car, and I actually did wait till the 2017s hit the lot before I decided if I wanted to get a 17 or a 16. I actually picked the 16. So there's a couple reasons for that, but I actually really do enjoy this car more than the 17. I had to wait. This was the last World Rally Blue. The guy said in Canada, but I'm sure it was just like Ontario. But it was the last World Rally Blue. They had to go and get it and truck it over and stuff, and the 17s were already on the lot, so I really did actually like this one more. It's not just oh, I didn't want to wait or anything stupid like that. So there's just a few reasons why I prefer this model over the new one. And for starters, I don't like the front end at all. I feel like the fog light hole in this car is a good size because you have the running light above it, and then the fog light hole is mostly taken up by the fog light if you get that package. But on the 2017s, the fog light hole is bigger, so there's more black plasticky spots in the bumper, but the fog light itself is actually smaller, so you have a lot more black plastic in that space and not as much fog light. And to me that looks, I don't know, I personally don't like the way it looks because I feel like they don't use the space as well as they used it in this car. So they made the hole to match the light with the running light above it, and now there's no running light there, and there's a huge black space and a tiny little hole, and to me it just doesn't appeal the same as it did on this car. The thing is, I don't like the headlights. I feel like they look like Acura headlights. I know that's a weird thing to say, but it's just the way they are formed. They look like a lot of other Acura headlights. Not to say that they're bad headlights, and they look really cool, but they don't suit the car. This car is supposed to be like a sports, like a raw sports car, you know what I mean? It's supposed to just look nice, not high-end fancy. It doesn't suit the BRZ in my opinion. Those new lights on the front end, they're too high-end for this car in my opinion, and so that for me just kind of killed it. Looking at it from the front, I don't like the front bumper with the fog light holes, and I don't like the new headlights, so it kind of just ruined that for me from the front end. Now on the back end, it has new tail lights, which actually look like a lot of aftermarket tail lights you can buy for this car, and I think that they are really cool. Again, I don't know why I don't like the high-endness of the front lights, but I like the back lights. I think it's because everybody that buys this car swaps out the tail lights for some kind of tail lights, and the ones that come on the 17 look a lot like ones that you would swap into one of mine. And I also really like the spoiler on that car. The spoiler on that car on the 17 sits up off the trunk a little bit. It's black, it's thinner, it's pretty cool looking. So the one on mine is, I like it, but the one on that car, I definitely like it a little bit more. It's pretty cool. So now you see the back end I really did like, but the front end I really didn't like at all. I don't know, I just really couldn't get over the front end. I feel like that was such a bigger dislike than the amount that I liked the back end, that it didn't really weigh itself out. Another thing was the steering wheel. So on my car, the steering wheel is really small, just like on the new one. It's really small, and it's just a little, it looks like it's going to do its job well. And now the other one has steering wheel controls all over it, and it's a little bit got a funkier shape right here where the steering wheel controls are. And this is going to be just me being nitpicky, but I don't like that. I think it looks stupid, and I don't think it suits the car. The car is supposed to be like a little race car, and when you get all this, I don't know, it just doesn't look good to me. Now, the 2017 had new wheels. Are they better? On paper, yeah. They're a little bit stiffer. They got a redesign, but they still come with the same shitty tires. They still come with those exact same Primacy Prius tires. Come on, Subaru, come on. Now, the rim itself, though, it's stiffer and whatever. It's a little bit of a redesign. It didn't do anything for me. I don't like the wheels that came on this car, and I don't like the wheels that came on that car. It's as simple as that. I feel like, yes, they redesigned it, but it didn't do any justice for me, and it didn't do any justice for a lot of people because they still don't like the tire pairing, and they still don't like the way the wheel looks on the car. Now, yes, you can get the blacked out wheel with that package thing that you can get, but I don't know. It's just not for me. So on the 17, you did have 5 more horsepower and 5 more foot-pounds of torque. They chalked that up to barely anything. It's just like a little bit of a tune and like a new, I believe it was intake manifold or something. It's not a big deal. And for 5 pounds, whatever, that's not the big deal. That's nothing to care about because those numbers are so minuscule. The thing that you should really like is the transmission. Now, this is something that to me, I was like, oh, who cares? It's got a different gear ratio, whatever. And then I got this car and I see how a new gear ratio could actually help me out a lot. I'd be cruising at a little bit lower RPM on the highway. My car would be a little bit quicker. So that's something that's a plus coming out of that car is the new transmission with the different gear ratios. I didn't see it when I was purchasing it, but looking back now, I definitely see why that would be a good idea. But all in all, I think it just comes down to preference. So I've loved this BRZ body style since the day it came out. In 2013, I was all over this car. I loved it, and I needed to get my hands on one. But as my first car, you guys, I told you about that in my introductory. My first car, I didn't really know what I was looking for. I knew I loved this car, but I didn't know that I loved cars that much and that I would want to end up tuning them and whatever, right? So, but I've always just loved this body style. And when they came out with that new one, I heard they were redesigning it, and I was so excited. And then it came out, and it just didn't do enough justice for me. And as for the Toyota GT86, I don't, and many other people don't like it at all. I think it looks hideous. I think the front bumper is just ruined. But it's all chalked up to personal opinion. I just wanted to tell you a few things that I didn't like about the 2017 BRZ, but there are things that are good about that car, and there's no reason why you should or shouldn't do it based on this video. Chalk it up to personal preference. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.